about a book that I'm writing called Free Money for Home Buyers. Okay, now this book talks about low down payment and closing cost assistance, home ownership, grants, subsidy programs, okay, rental assistance, vouchers, free home buyer education, and a host of other programs that are available to you. This is available on lulu.com. Okay, now, if you wish to purchase your first home but need help in meeting your monthly mortgage and other home ownership expenses, there is a program that will help you. It's called the Section 8 Home Ownership Voucher Program, and this is available on lulu.com. In order to qualify, you must be receiving Section 8 in either working full-time for at least 1 year, and earnings vary, or you must be on permanent disability or SSI. If you meet either of these criteria, you may qualify for a mortgage to buy a house right now using your Section 8 Home Ownership Voucher Program, your Section 8 Home Ownership Voucher. The monthly mortgage payment by the homeowner is generally 30%. Now, for example, if you have a rental voucher, Section 8 rental voucher, your portion is generally 30%. That means that the PHA, or the Public Housing Association, pays 70%. So in the case of a mortgage, once you get your Section 8 home ownership voucher, as opposed to a Section 8 rental voucher, your portion of your mortgage will be 30%. And the 70% will be paid by the same people who now subsidize your rent, will also be subsidizing your mortgage. For example, if your mortgage is $1,000 a month, you would be responsible for at least generally $300 of that. And the organization who subsidizes your mortgage under the Section 8 Home Ownership Voucher Program would also be responsible for $700. So for a $1,000 mortgage, you would only have to pay $300 of that money. Now there's a way to even get that reduced down even lower than that. And I talk about that in my book, Free Money for Home Buyers, which is available on lulu.com and also AffordableHomesAndApartments.com. Okay, now, even if you have bad credit, you can still be a candidate for some federal programs. I can show you how to straighten out your credit by enrolling in some of our workshops. Now, some of the workshops that we offer, one of them is called Financial Management Workshop. Now, this is a financial management workshop, and what this talks about is budget, debt, and credit issues. And we addressed a variety of different issues under this program, under this particular workshop. And we have various workshops. I don't have the complete list with me, but I can also always email it to you. And I have a proposal available if you're interested in us doing this workshop on your facility. We have worked with some employers in the past where we found that it was a great program, that employers are actually assisting subsidizing the mortgage as an incentive for the employer to perform better on the job and enable them to hold on to their job a lot longer. A lot of state, city, federal government, and local municipalities do offer subsidies and do assist in subsidizing mortgages, as well as financial institutions, lenders, and private companies as well. They offer subsidy programs. Sometimes they'll match your money, sometimes they'll subsidize the mortgage, and there's a host of programs that are available, particularly to the first-time home buyer. There are income maximums that must be qualified for. So in other words, you have to be of a low to moderate income individual and family. You cannot be making over a certain amount of money, whatever that guideline is, and I list a lot of the income maximums here. In other words, you can't be making $100,000 a year and still qualify for a subsidy grant, a Section 8 home ownership voucher, or any of the programs that a low to moderate income individual and no family would qualify for, which would be you and which would be me. Now, if you need help in meeting your home ownership and other expenses, there's a program that will help you, and it is called the Section 8 Home Ownership Voucher Program. And I include that in detail in this book, Free Money for Home Buyers, which is available on lulu.com. A home is one of the biggest investments that you will make. When you rent, you write off your monthly check to the landlord, and that money is gone forever and you have nothing to show for your money at the end of the year. But when you own a home, you can, among other things, deduct the cost of the mortgage loan interest from your federal income taxes, and usually from your state taxes as well. This will save you a lot of money each year, because the interest you pay will make up most of your monthly payment for most of the years of your mortgage. You can also deduct the property taxes you pay as a homeowner. In addition, the value of your home may go up over the years. Finally, you'll enjoy having something to call your own. A home of your own with your own unique style that says who you are to the world. Purchasing a government home can be a very good investment. My first home was a government home. The very first home that I purchased it with cash. I got my income taxes, and I was able to get the house at half price. And I purchased it, and I moved 50 miles north, because I wanted to own a home of my own. I almost didn't care where it was. But that city, I didn't like it. So we stayed there for a couple of years. What it is, I had my real estate sales license. I managed my own 3-family house for 2 years, for 1 year, and then moved back to New York, and that qualified me to get my real estate broker's license. So I didn't have to work for someone else as a licensed sales agent. I was able to be completely independent. And as a property manager, that started the career of a lifetime. My career goal is property management. And if you need help in managing your property, if you're having a hard time finding good paying quality tenants, Affordable Homes can help you. We screen the tenants, we do background check, credit check, and we want to know if you've been evicted in the last 12 to 24 months. And we make it so that if the tenant is evicted and they still owe you rent, that this money will go on their credit report, and they will owe you that money, and then they will not be able to get a mortgage loan or a loan of any kind until they can pay you that money. I have a call. Affordable Homes and Apartments, can I help you? Yes, the house on Millicent, that's available for sale. Are you a first-time home buyer? Okay, so you're not familiar with first-time home buyer programs at all? Okay, well, we can help you with that. My name is Sylvia Black, licensed real estate broker with Affordable Homes and Apartments. Let me just get some information from you, and then I'll be glad to give you a call Monday, and then we can set up a time and appointment where you can come see the house. Okay, your first and last name, please? How do you spell that? Okay, and your phone number, please? And do you have a steady source of income, such as a job? Okay, do you also have Section 8? Oh, have you been on Section 8 for at least a year? Oh, that's great, because there's a program that might help you meet your home ownership expenses called the Section 8 Home Ownership Voucher Program. Are you familiar with that? Okay, well, I can discuss that in detail with you and get you started on, your number is 444, what's the last four again? Okay, great, I'll be giving you a call tomorrow, and can I have your email address? roxxy@gmail.com? Oh, 03, okay, at gmail.com. Okay, I'll email you something, I'll give you a call tomorrow, and then we can discuss the details at that time. Okay, thank you for calling, have a good day. Bye-bye. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's a young lady. She has been getting Section 8 for 10 years, and she's getting Social Security Disability, SSI, Social Security. So she has been on, if she's getting permanent disability, she can qualify for a home ownership voucher program, whereas generally her expense would be 30% of the mortgage. Now I have to tell you that it's a process, because you will be going through some training, you will be going through some home ownership and some home ownership education programs, and you'll be getting trained You're going to be learning about the home ownership process, but when it's all said and done, some people say at the end, at the finish of the day, it's going to be all worth it. And me as a real estate broker, yes, it's going to be a lot of work, but that's our job. We're like the middle person, the middleman. We screen and we process for the landlord. So we're the ones who have to get the initial contact between you and us and you. And we ask you a lot of questions, and a lot of people are sometimes intimidated by the questions that we ask. But we ask you, please don't be intimidated, because it's our job. That's what we do. We do this because, like I said, if you don't make money, then, we're not going to be making any money. If you don't have any money to spend, if we can't help you get qualified, if we can't help you straighten out your credit, if we can't help you so that you can be in a position to buy a home of your own, then we're not going to make any money. You see what I'm saying? And nobody really generally has a silver spoon coming out of their mouth, or was born with a silver spoon in their mouth. So we understand that. But like I said, it's a process. Sometimes people say, "Oh, I'm just going to go look at the house, and then I'm going to be able to buy the house." Yes, sure, I'll show you the house. I want you to see the house, because I want you to see what kind of an investment that you can take advantage of. I want you to see the beauty and the splendor of the wood. I love wood. I love hardwood floors, and I want you to see what some pieces of wood put together was able to construct. And if there's some repairs that are needed, I want you to look at that house as an investment of your own. I want you to be able to say, I'm going to be able to take this house and make it what I want it to be. I'm going to put my own personal style in there. Okay, so the living room needs a little bit of work. It's going to need some floors. Maybe you might be a carpet person. You might be a vinyl tile person. You might be a wood person. Whatever kind of flooring you like, I want you to be able to see your own idea, your own ingenuity in that house. I'm going to show you some before pictures and some after pictures. What the house looked like before and what the house looked like after. And I want you to see what your little finishing touches can do. You might want to paint a house. I saw a house that had every room in the house was painted a different color. The living room and the dining room was painted a beige. They had one bedroom was painted blue, one was painted red, one was painted green. Every room in the house was painted a different color. It had its own personal style. The floor matched the walls. The ceiling was standard. Some had ceiling fans, and some did not. But each house had its own signature, and you know that whoever lived there was able to say, "Hey, this is me. This is my personal style." So if you're getting Section 8, yes, there is a program that will help you, and it's called the Section 8 Home Ownership Voucher Program. Now, there's also a program called the Weatherization Program. Now, the Weatherization Program is a program that's initiated, but it's a program that, okay, let me read it to you. It's in my book, Free Money for Home Buyers, available on Lulu.com and also AffordableHomesAndApartments.com. Okay? Now, once you do take occupancy to your new home, and you may need financial help in getting your house fixed up, here's some tips on some free money. One of them is called the Weatherization Program. And yes, you can take advantage of the Weatherization Program in a home that you own and or apartment that you rent. The only difference is that you have to get the owner's permission in the apartment that you rent. And why would the owner turn down free money? I need a new furnace, landlord. But guess what? You don't have to pay for it. All I need you to do is sign authorizing me. I can get free help and get a furnace and an apartment, and you don't have to pay nothing for it. And it will increase the value of your property. You can get a second mortgage on your house, pull money out of it, and you still have a good paying tenant. See, that's what we try to talk to. We talk to landlords, try to get to their common sense, their good sense, to let them know. Okay, this is called the Weatherization Program. Okay, now according to this particular organization that I list in this book here, the Weatherization Program enables low-income families to permanently reduce your energy bills by making your homes more energy efficient. Okay, funds are used to improve the energy performance of dwellings, houses, of needy families using the most advanced technologies and testing protocols available in the housing industry. Okay, now the U.S. Department of Energy provides funding to states, United States overseas territories, and Indian tribal governments, which manage the day-to-day details of the program. These governments in turn fund a network of local community action agencies nonprofit organizations, and local government agencies that provide these weatherization services in our area, in our state, and the District of Columbia, United States territories, and among the Native American tribes. The energy conservation resulting from these efforts of state and local agencies helps our country reduce its dependence on foreign oil and decrease the cost of energy for families in need while improving the health and safety of their homes. During the past 33 years, Weatherization Program has improved weatherization services to more than 6.4 million low-income households. Families receiving weatherization services see their annual energy bills reduced by an average of about $437, a year. Depending on fuel prices, of course, this could be more. Because the energy improvements that make up weatherization services are long-lived, the savings add up over time to substantial benefits for weatherization clients and their communities and the nation as a whole. And we all know in Western New York, see in New York City where I'm from, we get 3 months of spring, 3 months of summer, 3 months of winter, and 3 months of fall. But up here, we get 3 months of nice weather, and the rest is cold. So the savings would be more substantial up here because you have to use your furnace to burn heat longer. Now usually the weather breaks in about February, but it's still pretty cold. But usually in New York City in February, by March, I'm wearing my spring outfit outside. Now weatherization as defined by the Weatherization Assistance Program differs in many ways from what is commonly called weatherizing your home. The latter involves low-cost improvements like adding weather stripping to the doors and windows to save energy. These measures made up weatherization services provided in its early years and are likely responsible for program names. Now, different community organizations offer different types of services. I had one home buyer that was able to get a brand new furnace in their home. They had brand new windows put in the whole house. And they have to continue to live in that house for another 10 years in order to defer the cost of the services that was provided for them free of charge. They had a new furnace, they had new windows, and everything was put in the whole house. Now I call this other organization, and all they do is put weather stripping in the windows. They try to preserve the windows that are there. And they don't put new furnaces. Now, different organizations, there's another organization that they will put a furnace in there. Another organization, they'll give you a furnace and a hot water tank. Another organization will give you windows. Another organization will try to preserve the windows. So different organizations provide different services. So if you may call one organization that we may provide you with, or we'll give you information how to locate the information. And they may say that, all we do is give you weather stripping, and we look at the house and see they just may provide you with the basic minimal stuff. While other services, other companies and organizations, they may provide you with an entire household renovation. Give you a new furnace. You may not even have a furnace in your new home that you just bought. Of course, again, it says in the book you have to be of a low moderate income family to qualify for this free service. And there are stipulations regarding how long you have to live in the house in order to qualify for these programs. Now, are you eligible? How to find out if you're eligible or not? As many as 20 to 30 million U.S. families are eligible for weatherization services nationwide. Services are provided by the states, and each state has slightly different criteria. All energy services are handled by local weatherization agencies, in which I will give you those information. If you're receiving supplemental security income or aid to families with dependent children, you are automatically eligible to receive weatherization services. Usually people that are getting DSS, if you're getting food stamps, Medicaid, Social Security Disability, and sometimes Section 8, I don't know if that automatically qualifies you. But I know the other programs, if you're receiving those, that qualifies you automatically. It says here, automatically eligible to receive weatherization services. And other cases, if you're also over 60 years old, a family with one or more members with disability, and families with children in most states. So that means that a lot of the families qualify for that, because if you're getting Section 8 and you have a child. Okay, one of the primary factors affecting eligibility is income. Okay, depending on what state you live in, you are eligible for weatherization if your income falls below the 200% poverty level. Defined, I will define it for you in a chart that I have. However, in some states, such as the third alternative, to set eligibility if your income is less than 60% of the median income in your state, and minimum incomes for Hawaii and Alaska respectively are slightly higher. And of course that would differ also in New York City, because the incomes on a whole are generally higher. Now this is an example of poverty income guidelines back in 2009, and again, my name is Sylvia Black, licensed real estate broker for affordable homes and apartments, and I'm coming to you live, talking to you about my book, Free Money for Home Buyers, which talks about grants, low income rate subsidies, down payment and closing cost assistance, preferably for the low to moderate income individual and family, and for the first time home buyer. Okay? This is an excellent source for landlords, property managers, for housing. If you're a developer, you develop houses and you want to sell, you have a set of houses that you want to sell, or anybody that's trying to sell your house. Of course, we're not talking about those $500,000 houses though, and not those $200,000 and $300,000 houses. They wouldn't necessarily qualify. The house has to be reasonably priced, because the subsidy grant isn't going to be for so much. Now, I do know some houses that were $200,000 or more, and they were still able to get subsidy grant for them, but the income level was higher. Okay, so here's an example of back in 2009 what the poverty income guideline levels were. Okay, this was as of January 23rd, 2009 income levels. Now for a family of one, the threshold, which means the maximum, $10,830, but the guideline, the 200%, okay, now we said that in order to qualify, if your income falls below the 200%, right, which means that you can be making anywhere up to and including $21,660 for a family of one. So you as a one person, you can buy yourself a three bedroom, one bathroom, single family house if you're making $21,000. Can you believe that? Now here's a family of two. That means you and your child, or you and your husband. Okay, maximum $29,140. Let's say an average household of four, which can be four of anything. One adult, three children. Two adults, two children. Okay? Four. The maximum, $44,100. That don't mean you have to be making $44,100. That means that you could be making no more than $44,100. You could be making, for a family of four, $21,000. Okay? You could be making, for a family of five, $29,000. Okay? Okay, now let's say that you have a big family, okay, and there's 8 of you, 2 adults and 6 children. The maximum income is $74,000. That don't mean you have to be making $74,000. That means that there could be 8 of you, and you could be making $59,000. There could be 2 adults and you got 6 children, you could be making $36,000. This is the guidelines back in 2009, so the income levels have risen. But this is the threshold, means this is the maximum. Okay, so if you're making $100,000 and there's only one of you, you don't qualify. If there's 3 of you in the family and you're making $55,000, you may not qualify, because based on what the guidelines are today. The guidelines back in 2009 was $36,620 for a family of 3. If there's 3 of you and you're making $60,000, you make too much money. You don't qualify for these particular programs. Okay? Now there are other guidelines that I can read to you, but I'm not going to go into detail. Now I will give you the number and the phone number to the local agencies, the state agencies, the government agencies, and the local municipalities who help out with down payment and closing cost assistance. And a lot of times the help is right in the borough that you live, and you don't even know it. When I first came here to Buffalo about 10 years ago, there was so much information about home buyer assistance programs, and I couldn't believe it. I had a book, I don't even remember where, I think I know where the book is, but it was a book about all the different houses. It was 100 pages, 100 organizations that offered first-time home buyer assistance. believe in so many organizations, why are there so many people renting? Why are there so many tenants? I can tell you one reason, because it's easier to just rent an apartment to somebody rather than try to take the time to try to sell them a house. Secondly, firstly, is because a lot of people who want to buy a home don't know how to go about buying a home and don't know that these programs actually exist. Okay, you may be making a little bit of money. You're not making a whole lot of money, and you're probably thinking, oh, you don't qualify for a house because you're not making that much money. But in reality, you do qualify for a house. You're making enough money because you fall into the program, this low to moderate income program that I talk about in my book, Free Money for Home Buyers. Okay? Now, these programs will offer grants, subsidies, and you don't have to be getting Section 8 to qualify. You could be working full-time job and getting no subsidy at all. But if your income level reaches the maximum or is underneath the maximum, okay, doesn't go over that threshold, which a lot of us are pretty much in that guideline, we can qualify. Now, how do you know if you're ready to buy a home? Okay, do you have a steady source of income? As you saw when I took that phone call, do you have, are you able to meet your income and other monthly expenses pretty reasonably? What is your situation? How are you able to deal with a lot of things here? And I will tell you, if you meet none of these criteria that will help qualify you for a mortgage, I've been willing to bet you're a low moderate income individual and family that you will get some that you will get your income tax at the end of the year. Okay? And 10 grand, is it 12 grand? It might have went up to 12 grand. You can get $12,000 and buy yourself a house and still have some money left over for repairs. A lot of people don't understand how investment is very important these days. Oh, I'm getting Section 8, they paying my rent. What do I care? Okay, fine. Maybe you might be one of the lucky ones. You're getting Section 8. There's still a program for you, and you can buy a house as investment. And when you start getting enough money, you don't need Section 8 anymore. Leave it for somebody who needs that. Okay, there's so many programs out here available to first-time home buyer programs. And a lot of times what happens is a lot of investors end up buying these houses and they end up jacking up the price, or they'll charge you a $900 rent. Now that same house on Millicent, I'm going to follow it. I'm going to see what the progress is on that house. If I can get somebody to buy it, or if somebody else ends up finding a buyer, or if an investor actually ends up buying that house. And I'm going to let you know what happens with that house if it ends up for rent, and how much the rent is actually going to be going for, or who actually gets to purchase that house. We're going to talk more about that in detail as we proceed. Again, I want to thank you for joining me today. My name is Sylvia Black, and this is Real Estate, Religion, and You. Today we were talking about my book, Free Money for Home Buyers. And I want to thank you for joining me today for Real Estate, Religion, and You.